Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm back again, going over this silly motherfucker, Bill Greathouse. So this sorry motherfucker is back, and he's going to, he's going to try to say that he's trying to act like he's a male's right activist and exposing corrupted females. Okay, so what? These females might be brainwashed or might be paid agents to say some lies, but he's an agent who's gotten himself whether he's being paid or not, because this motherfucker is a liar and a rat fink and a white supremacist. So don't be taken by this silly motherfucker. And I'm glad this motherfucker's going to admit. Briefly watched some of this net video, not the whole thing, and he's admitted that he's going to stay off YouTube. Well, why does he keep on coming back every 2 months? He makes a video until his sorry ass croaks. A natural causes for smoking cigarettes, living an unhealthy lifestyle, and other thing like that.
I'm going to do this here video. Okay, I haven't done nothing in a long time, and don't get me wrong, I'm not coming back. There isn't going to be regular content for me anymore. They just don't have it that way anymore. Okay, but this particular one,
I can't barely understand what this motherfucker's saying, but he don't have it in him no more. He doesn't have anything else to say. He's basically said everything he can say, and his white supremacist, privileged bitch boy. I'm lower class, poor white man, but still I'm better than niggers. This is his whole philosophy.
I got some things I want to say.
Oh, is it gonna be some white supremacy as one of you review one of your own people, a female of your own race, gonna say something stupid here? Okay, like a big fucking dude. White women say stupid shit every day.
Okay, so don't get me wrong, because I'm not coming back. So feel lucky you're even seeing this one.
You should stay gone and go permanently, if you know what I mean. Go the same way your friend Warren did, your best booty buddy.
But at the same time, there's things I want to say here, okay?
Now, what do you want to say? Some stupid shit?
There is a topic, one of the things I'm a little bit forward in the video from where I'm going to start it at. Before that, there was a gal up here
This motherfucker sound like he got emphysema. I think he's getting close to the grave, fellas.
that said we live in a democracy,
And one female that's watching.
okay? And you hear the court say it, you hear the TV say it, you hear them say it in the movies that we live in a democracy, we live in a democracy. And I don't get it.
We live in a white supremacy, and it's a fake republic, and now they shifted to being a fake democracy.
Into the theater, the names they gave you, because it was all about control.
White supremacists are the main one controlling people. You're just under the more powerful white supremacists, but y'all all white supremacists. ATF could kick in my door anytime and make some bullshit, murder me, and they'll get away with it. If they did it to you, they might be reprimanded. Who knows?
But, for years when I grew up, they said to pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. And the last time I looked,
We have nothing but a white supremacist organization as our country. Same people that did 200 years of slavery and never paid a dime for it, never paid us restitution, reparations for it. And we're sitting here, and the black male is 200 years behind the white male. And then most other minorities and foreigners side with white supremacy, thinking they're going to get a handout when they're not.
it was into a republic, not a democracy. And you'll get people who try to argue with you and tell you democracy and republic are one and the same. But if they ever went and looked it up and read the entire thing on democracy and the entire thing on republic, they would clearly see that they were, the blanket was thrown over their face.
Well, yes, a democracy is two wolves and a sheep deciding what's for dinner, which is what white supremacy is. Because white people in America outnumber each individual minority group. Hispanics want to be side with white folks. Black foreigners from the Caribbean want to side with white folks. Majority of them Haitians, Jamaicans, and other Caribbean. They want to side with white folks and turn tricks with white folks. They don't want to stand up against white supremacy. They think that what Haitians fought against, kicked out the French back in 1820, ain't done shit with that island, half their island of the island they have.
That they're lying. See, democracy is the roadmap to communism. And all 10 planks of communism have already been implemented into the United States. No accidents. That's why everybody.
It's what we're going through in the United States is really just fascism. If we had some aspects of communism, hell, healthcare would be free. Our tax dollars, we would see it being used to increase the living standard of the average American, but we're not seeing that. We're seeing healthcare. If you're not a foreign military, healthcare is insane, and it's gouging people. And we have other things that the government does not is willing to pay for their illegal foreign wars at the behest of Israel. Their all their the scam they pulled, the C word scam they pulled a few years ago. Uh, they're willing to do all this, and he's probably clear to watch this video because she this looks like a man with big titty, so he's probably turned on.
Everybody's saying democracy, but nobody's using their brains. They said the pledge
Well, Bill doesn't have a brain; he uses his head as a hat rack.
allegiance to the flag, okay, where it was into a republic. So you might as well just change the pledge of allegiance into communism, into a democracy.
Communism is the boogeyman to white supremacists in the Western Hemisphere. It's like, oh, communism. Fascism is your enemy, and every so-called communist country is just a fascist dictatorship. Cuba, Russia, China, they're just fascist dictatorships, and they're just blatant with it. When America is more subtle, we have just corrupt all so-called law enforcement, really just rule enforcement or white supremacy, because human beings cannot write laws because you're a human being. You cannot write on a piece of paper this is a law. You're just a corrupt human being, probably making some type of rule to benefit yourself. But we live under fascism. The fascism is just a tyrant rules you, and you have no say, and you have no civil rights. That's what we live under. We're basically in slavery 2.0. Everyone except the top 1%.
Because you didn't pay
But white people are just have more rights than non-whites.
attention to what was going on right in your face. But anyhow, that's sort of off topic, but that words were said earlier in this video. I'm going to start it right here, and I got some things to say, okay, it's about what's being said right here. So let's go forward here.
For a man who gets easily triggered, defensive, or reactive, this one's for you. This is why women stop respecting you and you don't even realize that it's happening. Emotion isn't feminine, reaction is. And when a man reacts emotionally, he loses that masculine frame. So let me get something clear. Emotions are human, they're in all of us, but reaction is not leadership. There's a big difference between feeling and losing control. The feminine processes emotion outward through expression, reaction, and release. The masculine is designed to control that emotion, to regulate it, to decide before acting. So when a man becomes reactive, defensive, impulsive, or emotionally volatile, that tells you one thing. He is dysregulated. Most men aren't reacting because they're too emotional. They're reacting because they lack structure and discipline. No discipline at all, no physical outlet, no purpose, and no internal order. A man without structure has no container for stress. So the pressure leaks out as anger, sarcasm, passive aggression, shutting down, or emotional outbursts. That is not strength. That is overflow. Here's why it happens though. When a man doesn't lead his own life, he can't lead his emotions, let alone a woman. He avoids responsibility. His nervous system stays in fight or flight. When he has no direction, everything feels like a threat. So he reacts. Strong men don't react. They respond. They pause. They assess the situation. Then they choose to respond calmly because masculinity is not loud. It is stable. And this is the part that most men miss. A woman doesn't lose respect because a man feels something. She loses respect because she can't trust his own regulation. A woman naturally softens when she feels contained. She hardens when she has to manage a man's emotions. That's why emotional reactivity in men kill attraction, not vulnerability and not honesty, but lack of regulation. Masculinity isn't the absence of emotion. It is mastery over it.
Okay. This is so crucial because what she said right there sounds good, doesn't it? So many of you will probably agree with her without knowing what she really said.
This motherfucker's so broke he lives near the train track. A white man being broke is like, damn, you're pathetic. And Miss Fuller told us we're gonna see more white men, poor, stupid, crazy, homeless, doing stupid shit, even getting killed by rule enforcers, and just being all around idiots, drug addict. I'm not saying that Bill is a drug addict. I think he's just addicted to cigarettes, which is a big problem in America any damn way.
without understanding what she really said. Okay, let's start at the very beginning of this thing. Okay, when it comes to feelings, emotion, which comes from a feeling. Okay, let's look at what she said about men's feelings. Let's look at women's feelings. Now let's thinking about the feelings, the emotion from a feeling. Information taken in becomes perception, which becomes your belief, which becomes your feeling, which becomes your emotion. What she's really saying, without saying it in your face, is that, see, she told you straight up both men and women have feelings and emotions. What she didn't tell you and won't tell you because she probably don't even understand it herself, she thinks she's being smart here. What she's doing is she's parroting, she's repeating the official social engineering that led to where we're at right now with people's behaviors. And how can I say that? Because it's actually pretty simple and it's pretty in your face. As a human being, whether you're a man or a woman, where did your roles in life come from? Another human being telling you what your roles are. We understand that there's men, we understand there's women, we understand women give birth. Okay, this has nothing to do with years and years back when women stayed at home and the man went out and earned the money and took care of the household. And even then, women were out there working in the field and helping to grow the food. There's so much they don't tell you, and I never will, because it's about programming the biological computer, your brain. Why do we do that? So we can get behaviors where we want them. So what we have here is what she's really telling the men is the reaction. When the man's feelings, he comes with emotion and he's angry and he's blah, blah, blah. It's a reaction to a feeling. What she's telling you as a man, you were to suppress that down. That control is to suppress your feelings. Now let's look at the women.
Men should control their feelings, not suppress them, and let them out in a privacy of their home. Of course, every man should have their own home, privacy of their home, talking to family, trusted family members. Some families you can't even trust them, but a man should be in control, especially a non-white man, because if we do anything in public that is seen as potentially threatening, we could lose our life instantly, or we could be incarcerated by corrupt rule enforcers that are white supremacists, and yes, even the non-white ones. They, ever heard of Uncle Tom? But white supremacists pretend like Uncle Toms don't exist. But a man should be in control of his emotions and be stoic in public, and then he can let out his emotions in a constructive way at home in private, but not going around acting like an emotional wreck in public is unbecoming of a man. And so, but Bill, since he's a bitch boy, he wants men just to be emotional wrecks. Now, women, especially white women, have carte blanche to be emotional and be crazy and be stupid, and they get away with it. But if even a non-white woman act a fool in public, she'll be handled uh, promptly and accordingly, or not even accordingly, in proportionally most times.
What are they told? Well, women are emotional. Okay, where did emotions come from?
Yes, women are taught in this sick society by these white supremacists that women have no emotional control training. As a male, you must learn to control your emotions. Since since you once you're past, especially non-white, once you're past puberty, entering in high school, you have to learn to control your emotions. 14 plus, you have to learn to control your emotions. And so, but just giving in to your emotions and having out if someone uh, cuts you in line and have outbursts, even calmly, tell the discipline the person that is wronging you in public, but do not have a meltdown as an especially non-white person. But see, a white man would know that now, would he? He's been privileged his whole life. He's been a politically supreme his whole life. He can't understand that because he's never had to walk a day in his in a non-white person's shoes. It's almost like the movie, very cheesy but profound in a way. A movie called Soul Man, a '80s blackface movie. But basically a character, I think he takes a pill and he becomes, and then of course they just take a Jewish or white actor and put him in blackface, and he becomes a black male for a day. And he goes through life. He's mistreated. He's talked to stupid. He's treated with suspicion, even though he's a good person. And then he's really like, oh, that this sucks. I don't like being a black person. This sucks. I'm treated with suspicion when I'm white. I could have a bunch of murdered co-eds in my trunk of my car, and the police will wave me on and then treated with no suspicion unless he's blatantly doing a crime. Treated with no suspicion. Blackmail, treated with suspicion, hatred. And that's why I feel that a lot of black males resonate with the X-Men comics and X-Men cartoons, because that's the way it is. You're treated just how mutants are mistreated with suspicion and everything like that in the X-Men series before the homosexual movement co-opted X-Men in the 2000s. That's the way black males are treated. And then you have white supremacists say, "Oh, you black guys are obsessed with race." It's like, no, that's like saying that's big, like doing RAP on someone and saying you're obsessed with sex because I'm forcing you to do this every day. You're obsessed with sex. It's like the victimizer is trying to say that when the victim responds to all the white supremacy going on, oh, we're upset. We need to just shut up about it. Don't talk about it. Just accept the white supremacy going on. It's like, no, I'm not going to just accept that. This has been going on for hundreds of years. It has to come to an end. But this is not going to come to an end. We have too many white supremacists and non-white agents working against us, and this is never going to come to an end. The Earth will explode from the sun exploding first before white supremacy comes to an end.
Feelings. Where do emotions and men come from? Feelings. But what do we tell the women? Well, we tell everybody that women are emotional and men ain't. That's a lie. That's for
Yes, everyone has emotions, but you do have to learn to control your emotions, especially as a non-white person. But now, white supremacists like Bill wouldn't know that. He doesn't care about the uh, how non-white people have to go through life. He's unsympathetic. He barely could when we were in when we were in good terms, and I was viewing him as a reluctant associate back in 2024. I could tell that he was not sensitive to the race issue. He's a pretender. He's a phony. And most white supremacists, even the older ones, they can refine themselves for a little while, but after a few months, they're gonna review who they are. They're gonna have little slip ups and be like, "Well, slave." I think Bill one time said, and I said this to Calvin, who's Jamaican but knows the history of the black male in America. He and of course, Jamaicans are victims of the slave trade from the UK directly. We're under indirectly under the UK and America, and then Jamaica's directly under them as they're forced to be prostitutes and slaves for the UK. So, but basically, you know, uh, Bill had made some type of crazy comment, and I let it slide at the time because I know this guy's old and crazy. So he said, "Oh, slavery happened before." So it's referring to a black male my age in his 30s or whatever our ages, for us, like, oh, slavery happened before your grandparent was born, so therefore it doesn't matter. And it's like, no, it still matters. You got Irish people still talk about the potato famine from centuries ago. Anything that happens to white people, of course, there's certain group of people that I can't say what's on the JE Dubs. They talk about this event during World War II that they exaggerate blood proportion, and it happened 80 years ago plus, right? So you do not, anything that happens to a white person, to a European, they're going to never let that go. They still talk about English, still talk about, and the French still talk about their 100-year war against each other. They still talk about stuff that happened centuries ago, and yet for white people, that's all cool. Most times when I meet a white person, they say, "Oh, I'm German. Oh, I'm French. Oh, I'm English. Oh, I'm Irish." They just tell you what type of a bloodline they're from, and you didn't even ask for that information. They just tell you. They're so proud of who they are, and they're gonna tell you. So who's obsessed with race? It seems like white people are the ones obsessed with race. We is just non-white people are just responding to their nonsense.
An agenda. So we give women permission to act out on their emotions. We
Yes, white supremacists give white women especially, permission to act on their emotions because the white woman is the um, war factory to the next generation of white people. She pumps out a soldier can pump out a soldier every 9 months.
shame men. We put
My favorite video game, Helldivers. There's this enemy called the automatons, when really automaton really meant a mechanical puppet. But the automatons in this context are these evil faction of robots that were spawned by these evil cyborgs, right? So in Helldivers, you can go up Helldivers 2, you can go up to these factories and these manufacturers pump out an enemy robot soldier every like 60 seconds, for example. And if you don't shut down that factory, if you don't blow it up with an explosive or blow it up with an airstrike, they'll just keep on pumping out these soldiers. And so the white woman is just like a factory of pumping out these soldiers. And then you have this big problem, and that's what Warren was a product of. You have a lot of inbreeding where they're pumping out, soldiers that are fucked up. That's why we have so much white sacrifice. You have white people that are inbred. They want to stay pure white so bad they inbreed. But they would probably benefit from other people's genetics. But white people, some of them are just want to inbreed. Their siblings are getting married, and some white people are just marrying their siblings and every type of crazy shit. A lot of foreigners do this. I hear that's a big thing in Africa where they marry their own siblings, shit like that. So it's getting crazy, and I've gone over and over ad infinitum uh, that black people in America are not from Africa, but white supremacists will never accept that. But anyway, so Bill's gonna go here and just rant on this dumb bitch, and she was saying some things that are true in the context of not taking overboard, not walking around suppressed to the point where you explode at random. I'm talking about just being able to control your emotion in public and then release it in a constructive, healthy way.
put men down. We gaslight them. We shame them. We tell them they're not a man.
Well, you gaslight and shame non-white men that speak against white supremacy. How's that any different? But see, you cannot um, speak ill of a white man according to white supremacists, right? I spoke the truth about Warren, and he had a meltdown and had made two videos about me. One where he just hinted at who I was, and then the first video he said my YouTube channel blatantly and said my first name, over and over again in the video. The man was out of his fucking mind. But this motherfucker, I guess, and this sounds like he didn't even put his dentures in. He sounds so lispy and tie tongue in this video, but whatever.
If they act on emotions from feelings. Do you follow what I'm telling you?
No, because you don't make sense most times.
If somebody hurts you, abuses you verbally as a child, even, or even as an adult, and continues to abuse you and abuse you and abuse you, your feelings will lead to the emotion that comes with that feeling, but as a man, you're to suppress that. You're to suppress it and just take it. Just bend over and keep taking it.
And that's what white supremacists want to do to non Uncle Tom, non white people. You want us to bend over and take your nonsense and abuse. We're sick of taking it. Hell, I have multiple answers to stood up against white supremacy. We're not going to take this shit.
Over and over and over again. If you act out, we're going to shame you. We're going to gaslight you. We're going to tell you you're out of control. We're going to tell you that's not being a man. That's right. We're going to tell you what it is to be a man. And we're going to tell you women what it is to be a woman. What's that about? That's about control. It's about divide and conquer. Okay? That's what it's really about. You know, when I heard this, I knew right away what she was saying, and I understood it so clearly. But unfortunately,
I normally don't make comments on other people's videos, especially negative, but I have to right here. I don't give a fuck about this channel. You see, in this probably this sorry motherfucker didn't even meet Warren in person. This motherfucker just, oh, white man died, and is this person black? Okay, another empty channel of troll. No videos, just a watcher of bullshit. I don't give a fuck what Bill do. Let's. I'm gonna take a picture of this and see if Calvin's gonna think this is funny. Not I give a fuck. If he thinks it's funny, cool. If he don't, This is a fucking sorry ass app. I hate that motherfucking app. Just nothing but stupid bitches and bullshit posts.
She don't even know what she's saying here. And if she does, she's purposely keeping it under the table. So the reality is what she really told you men is to be a man, you have to suppress your feelings down. Control your emotions. Doesn't matter what we do to you.
Well, I mean, Bill forgave his ex-wife for cheating on him, and he's learned how to control his emotions on white people, not on me or anyone out like that. But so
You control it. You don't act out on it. Suppress it down. Don't act out on that feeling that comes with that emotion that came from that feeling. If somebody's abusing you, bend over and take it. Because that's what a man does. Because he's strong, he's durable. You can stick him with a knife 100 times. Don't worry, it won't hurt him. He's only just a guy.
well, that's that, and see, and this is the fake victimhood that a lot of poor white supremacists have taken. They act like they're beat down for society when they've had so many opportunities and things that black people would not have had. He can go and he's a dumbass that does handyman work and has had able to. He probably lives in some rented hole in the wall. I think I've looked it up online. He lives in some dump somewhere in Iowa, and just off being a handyman, I doubt a non-white person could just be a handyman and not have to go into other avenues to support himself. But see, a white supremacist like Bill, he can be a dumbass handyman and still he can support himself.
He's not even a human. I know I'm being sarcastic right there, but there you are. That's really in a nutshell what she's telling you. She's telling the men to shut their mouth and keep their feelings to themselves and suppress them down. That goes right along with what you've witnessed and seen. Pay attention to female behavior. Well, let's see, they're emotional. They're emotional. Remember that? Y'all remember that? Women are emotional and men ain't? But see, if men weren't emotional and women are, then she couldn't have gave birth to you. So when she had a baby boy, would she have sex with a gorilla? Maybe she,
Maybe, probably, maybe Bill's fantasizing with sex and gorillas. I'm being a little sarcastic there, but what's up with talking about sex with animals with white folks? What the hell are you even talking about? But I get the point he's trying to make. But yeah, you have the right to have emotions as a human being, but at the same time, especially, but white males can have temper tantrums and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, it's okay." There's been viral videos. I don't know if they were staged or not, but there's been viral videos have in the past few years of these so-called trans people being like, "Oh, I call me ma'am," and he has a beard, but he just wearing a wig with a bra, and then call me ma'am, and then he has a meltdown because uh, someone called him sir instead of ma'am when he clearly was born male. So white and people have said that white supremacists have offended that and shit like that. It's like, really, a white man could have a meltdown over declaring he's the wrong sex, and it's okay, it's cool. White men have meltdowns. They don't call the police, they don't do anything, they just let it go on.
had sex with an alien like the Predator from outer space.
I wish I could call the predator. He would take out a lot of these bad, maybe take out all these bad white supremacists.
Or a swamp
Give them the taste of our medicine.
beast. But she couldn't have had sex with another human because she gave birth to a boy. Now I know that's sarcastic as hell, but the reality is garbage in, garbage out.
That's what you do, Bill. You're garbage in, garbage out.
The behavior comes from, just as I told you, information taken in, what you believe.
And that's how white supremacists are taught to violate children, taught to do homosexuality, all these perverted things, taught to be a white supremacist and put anyone that has more a certain amount of color in their skin oppressed. You know, if you're white, you're right. If you're brown, stick around. If you're black, you're whack.
Becomes a belief, that becomes a feeling, that becomes an emotion, because the feelings and emotions are one and the same hooked together. But you, as the man, are being told that you have to control them. You have to suppress them down. How long can you bottle it up? Because if you speak about it, we're going to gaslight you. We're going to shame you. We're going to tell you you're not being a man because, see, we decided for you long ago, some other clown decided for you what a man's roles are in life and how he's supposed to act, and what a woman's roles in life and how
Oh
she's
yeah, so he has gripes about what white supremacists as a whole have decided for him. Bill doesn't want to be a man; he wants to be a bitch and just sit there and be able to whine and complain and have temptations in public.
supposed to act. Of course, it was always meant for divide and conquer. If you go back far enough in time to the Western days, you find out that the women didn't have the pick, the men did. But since the real Western days, they flipped the roles. That's because it's always been controlled by other humans, shaping societies, shaping people's beliefs and behaviors. The social engineering 101 right in your face. So, this is the reason I'm doing this recording, because this is something that needs to be pointed out to you.
Is there any reason you do these recordings except to pretend you fight for men's rights when you don't? Because if you don't fight for all men's rights, you're not fighting for men's rights. Even white supremacists will be like, well, even black organizations like the Black Panthers, they were just black supremacists and they were racist. This was something about what Bill would say, right? And what was the catchphrase and the main motto of the Black Panthers? All power to all the people. Black people stand up for everyone's right, but white supremacists don't.
What she really told you is to be a man is to suppress your feelings down, to control, okay? To not become angry over something that you should be angry for, okay? But on the other hand, when it's
That's what largely what black people are forced to do. We're angry, rightfully so, about injustice that happen. The media is there just to provoke you, but we've all every non-white person that ain't a complete sell Uncle Tom has experienced injustice in life where he's been mistreated, and we're supposed to just take it. You know, when I was in the military, I was mistreated, talked to retarded and crazy, given unfair punishments when white soldiers were not punished, and they did far worse. For example, I was 90, probably 97 to 99% of the time, I was on time for field for the formation, for the morning PT formation and the first workday formation. I'm there on time, right? White boys would show up late, 30 minutes late and shit like that, and they just let it go. The black male like me and others, we are late one time, punished immediately. So, and then we're supposed to just take this abuse, take this abuse, take this abuse, and just, I just take it and bottle up my emotions. Very upsetting to go through that, but it made me a stronger person. See, I view life is that if you don't go through anything in life, like most white supremacists, whether they're poor or all the way to the top 1%, don't go through anything bad in life. They're born rich. Their parents provide everything for them. They're given all the opportunities and things like that. And then that makes them weaken, make them weaken. To I see a lot of this in life. I see white boys that are born into rich families and they become bums and losers. They never have money, even though money's the tool, right? But they never even have. They're born rich, right? You would think that they would be able to go out here and generate their own money. They don't. They do something stupid and bummy like Uber, or they do something stupid like work at a food restaurant or something like that, but they don't go into making big money. They could just go and get certified in something and get make money and start a business, whatever. They don't do that shit. They sit around and bum and smoke weed and do stupid shit. And then they never accomplish anything in life. And they're born rich and white. And that's and you see that happen every day where you have so many white boys born rich and they become bums and losers.
The opposite gender, well, they're emotional, she's just acting out of them emotions from her feelings, and she was hurt, and she has a right to be angry, and
He's mad at the white female who gets away with her public faux pas and all this bullshit that they do in public. Excuse me. And that's the double standard that we're sick of as non-white men or non-white males. According to Mr. Fuller, we can't be men because of the system of our political status is of old boys because we're not full human beings, but 3/5 a human being. So we're mad at that double standard, but here he is bitching and moaning about. He puts his own. He penalizes females in his own damn life. Case in point, his own damn wife, who cheated on him, had a baby with another man, and he forgave the shit. I mean, you don't get a little much low down, dirty dog of female behavior than that.
she has the right to act out. But when it's him, he don't have a right to be angry. He don't have a right to act out.
See, he wants to take what the privileges that white women have. Bill wants to take it for even back to white men, where they're allowing white women to get away with a lot now. Until they made the Karen phenomenon, white women got away with every fucking thing. They do anything they fucking want. They're considered the minority for the workplace. Of you can hire uh, white women in your office, and that fills your minority quota. You could just have one white woman per 9 white men, and you've hired your diversity quota. You don't have to hire these uh, these most foreigners kiss ass to white supremacy, and then they don't even hire Uncle Tom, American Negro. They just hire white women, and that fills the diversity quota. So he's mad about that. He's mad that white women can get away with everything they do. Get mad at the white supremacists that rule over you, that have more power than you.
he has to suppress it down. And he has to be calm, cool, and collect. Okay? And he has to keep his feelings to
Yeah, he wants to have temper tantrums like a retarded child and not be cool, calm, and keep his head. Is what we as non-white males have developed to be stoic and cool and calm. He has a right to go into temper tirades and every damn thing else, right? He has that right as a white male. He feels that he has the right to just have a meltdown. If a he can, he'll eventually probably find a race video to react to if he keeps on making videos. If he doesn't just die of a stroke tomorrow, he'll probably just he can find a black person he disagrees with and rant about that and be pissed off, and he'll be being like, there shouldn't be affirmative action, there shouldn't be this and that. If there wasn't those things, affirmative action was hijacked by white women and then homosexual white men.
himself. There was another video today from the Hope porn that came out from our bald-headed guy over there. Men need to be heard. Okay.
Okay, so one of your white brothers is an agent. So fucking what? A lot of motherfucking agents out there. So fucking what? Including you, even though you're not even the payroll. I don't think you're on the payroll, but you're a self-appointed idiot, a useful idiot. What's the famous quote? Is that Orwell? The useful fool quote? I gotta find out who attributed that quote. If someone
Well, he
finds out,
talked about
if someone finds out who made that quote, the useful fool quote, put it in the comments.
a similar topic to this. What a quinky thing that
I'm just really curious about that. I'm gonna look it up after this video though.
was on. And he told guys, okay, it's the same topic. Okay? And he told men that women they can tell you how they feel, and they can rant, and they can blah, blah, blah about it, and that's normal. But when a man tells a woman how he feels, it's a turnoff to her. And that us men need to understand that. There's a mistake that we make. What did he really say? He said the same thing she did. Suppress your feelings down. Don't act on them. That's really what he said. And what did she do today? The same thing. And these are both new videos, but see, what did I say? This is establishment. These people doing these videos.
Yeah, it's just establishment. There's no racist conspiracy. It's just an establishment. It's just always with white conspiracy theories is always this kosher. They use non-descriptive things like, oh, it's just the establishment, or they're the elite, or they're the globalists, or they're these other nondescript terms. Like who's the people you're talking about? A lot of people, most people that establish things are a certain color, aren't they?
Videos that you're seeing, they're working for the establishment. They're here for money in their pockets. They're given the scripts that they're told to give. They stepped into the manosphere and took over when I walked away, when Steve walked away. And now they're controlling the narrative.
Y'all ain't no damn superheroes saving the world. No, y'all ain't saving shit. Y'all are just having circle jerks on your little live streams y'all doing, your little phone calls that y'all do, but y'all ain't exposing shit. What the fuck are y'all exposing? Okay, women are stuck up bitches today. Yeah, no shit. It's like, does a bear shit in the woods? Is the sky blue? Is water wet? What else is fucking new?
That's right. That's exactly what's going on. Now they're controlling the narrative. Let's go forward a little bit because there's not a lot more I got to say. This is my main part. But I'm going to play a little bit of this because there's something else I want you to hear.
Masculinity is not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. So true. Thank you for this snippet of wisdom.
Have you guys
See, she told her thank you and called that wisdom. Well, called that something good. And it wasn't. Because most of you don't understand what was really said right there.
seen the TikTok of the woman whose husband canceled their
Do you understand what I said right there? I mean, well, it's just a person that can't control their emotions is basically a child. That's why we have the saying, most women are children, right?
honeymoon after one day because he found out that she sent a goodbye text to her ex on the morning of their wedding. Of course, her new husband would have a problem with this, but she just doesn't get it. She actually justified it by saying that she needed to say goodbye to have closure. But why did you wait for the day of your wedding? Look, for anyone in a relationship, let alone engaged, your partner never wants to feel like he's second choice, as if you're with him because your first choice didn't want it, or it's just that your first choice didn't want to shape up and be the man that you wanted him to be. And the whole closure thing is just a silly excuse because you can get closure without reaching out to someone. You can write a goodbye on a piece of paper and then burn it, because by reaching out instead, you're probably actually giving him one more chance to change your mind. Something just tells me in every one of these situations that the man on the other end receiving that is saying, heck no, good riddance.
Giving the other dude one last chance is exactly what she was doing.
This is an appreciation post. Not for that girl. No, she is the absolute worst. She is the epitome of what's wrong with this generation of TikTokers and content creators that will do anything just to get some likes and attention. No, this is an appreciation post for that man, because the look he gives is exactly how all of us feel when we see this nonsense. She could have filmed this anywhere in the world, and she decided to do it on a busy escalator in front of people. So to you, sir, respect. You look how all of us feel. So thank you. You are an absolute legend.
That man is the representation of what the rest of us feel like when we come across these idiots.
Ladies, be honest with yourselves. You're single out there, not dressing for yourself. You want attention from men. You want to get picked. You want to get chosen. You want to get the attention that night. You want to get the drink spot for you. You want all of that, or why else would you be doing it? So this idea that women don't want to be lusted after is such garbage. Women all.
Now I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I don't want to play a lot of this. A lot of this is just, what can I say? I had the parts I definitely wanted to play. Let me see what we got going here.
95, but he barely making, he make $1,000 a week. That's nothing.
$1,000 a week is a lot of money.
I now understand why this new generation does not want to date at all. Come here, because it seems incredibly tiring, right? There's so much pressure involved. Relationships nowadays seem more transactional than they do actually romantic, right? Because $1,000 a week is actually a good amount of money. That's $4,000 a month. And for one person, that's not bad at all. Now, to sustain two people's way of living off of that, that won't work, but that shouldn't be the case in the first place, right? When it comes to relationships, you should want to date somebody that makes you feel loved, respected, and feel safe and protected, and you can build a future with. Right? You should want to spend money on your partner because you want to, not because it's obligatory, because it isn't, right? In this economy, if you're looking for somebody to just pay for everything, you're not looking for a partner, you're looking for a caretaker. And I'm pretty sure if you tell anybody, hey, do you want to be in a relationship where you just pay for everything? I don't think they want to do that.
She says $1,000 a week is nothing because she was already calculating how much she could squeeze out of him through divorce and child support.
So why is it that it feels like men are giving up on dating? On a daily basis, I have so many women say,
playing video games with friends or fighting for democracy. You're welcome.
There you are, fighting for democracy. I'm not fighting for communism.
Unfortunately, they are working overtime instead of going out and dating because they feel they will never be attractive enough or wealthy enough for a girl ever again. They would rather check their weather app than chat with another person on Hinge.
Well, yeah. Well, Bill is too dumb to know that Helldivers is a parody of fascist communism bullshit, right? It's actually called managed democracy in the game where you vote and you have no choice and the algorithm picks the candidate who wins the election. But that's what we have in America anyway.
They're not at work. They're usually at home, the gym, playing video games with friends, or fighting for democracy. You're welcome.
If you're making $50,000, don't date. I'm just being for real. You're not ready to date.
Again, I'm with you.
You're not ready to date because courtship costs.
The girl at the end is right. You're going to need a lot more than $50,000 to feed that hungry beast.
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women. That
Bill, get to the fucking point.
Out. And where does it lead to? It leads to mayhem, chaos, and drama. Okay? No understanding of two people are human beings. The woman and the man are both human beings. The woman and man need each other. Friendship is the foundation. But now it's a friend zone, a rejection line. Okay? Good communication and trust is a foundation. But even that's been destroyed, hasn't it? See, all the foundations have been completely destroyed. Then you wonder why it's the way it is, huh? We're going to go forward a little more because I'm not going to play a lot more.
Pay attention. A man calling you baby means nothing. A man moving in your house means nothing. A man calling you his woman means nothing. A man giving you a baby means nothing. I'm about to hurt some feelings with this next one. A man marrying you means nothing. You know what means something? A man changing himself, his lifestyle, and his ways to keep you. That's what means something.
Hold on. See, this is once again, what did you see right there? The man changing himself. What about her? See, it's all about changing yourself to conform to her, that will still become bored of you and throw you away.
Yeah, that's why you went to Philippines and bought your child prostitutes.
That will still give you chaos and drama because she likes chaos and drama. You will.
Well, no one holds them accountable. See, it's like, how can you be mad at the 3-year-old with the bad parent who doesn't discipline them and doesn't stop them from acting a fool? that's the parents' fault, right? So why don't white men hold them account? But excuse me, white men like Bill will sit there and be like, "Oh, they need to be held accountable," and never do shit. Even in his own life, he let his woman cheat on him and take her back in and give her a place to stay.
Still be the villain. So you see what this clown just said? That's because he's following a script. Can't you tell these people are sitting in a damn studio? You pay attention close enough, you see clearly that they're sitting in.
This was our stolen money pays for, our tax money paid for them to lie to us. Like lied about a moon landing, lied about JFK, lied about 9/11, lied about all these issues, and lied about the C word from a few years ago. Lie, lie, lie. And that's all white men do. Lie, lie, lie. I mean, his video about me, he lied and made a straw man argument saying that I said I knew Warren better than him when I never said that stupid shit. But all white, and then when a white man sees another white man lying, he's like, "Hey, look, he's lying." He's like, "Doesn't that what y'all do?" I mean, it's like seeing a bird flying. It's like that bird's flying. I say a white man lying is like a bird flying. It's just what they do.
Studio. Okay? I'll give you more examples of they're in a studio.
A man with morals and honesty means everything.
What I can appreciate about Passport Bros is I think it's an effective.
There you go. You see the background? See the mic? Pay attention. They're sitting around a table. They all have good.
Yeah, these foreign clowns like Fresh and Fit, and then these white supremacists getting these studios. They're paid all this money to make this bullshit, and then these young kids that don't know any better fall for this stupid shit that they're saying that is not practically true. You know, you're a pastor, bro. So you're so down low and dirty. You gotta go to a foreign country and basically go find a low end prostitute and then pay this stupid bitch money to be with you. That's how low down and dirty you are. You know, it's just like, yeah, of course, the American women and the foreigners have become Americans through illegal and illegally. They're just vapid whores and whatever, and just want to take everything that you got, right? But then you gotta go to a foreign country where the cost to play is much lower, and then you go over there and enjoy and that and partake in that. And if you want some type of freaky shit, they'll do it because they're so down and out. They'll do anything because white supremacies, these foreign countries are just completely ravaged and destroyed. Africa's ravaged, destroyed. South America's ravaged, destroyed, taken over. Economic hitman going there and setting up deals that screw over the people. And the politicians finance this. And you got to go over there. You're so low down and dirty. And of course, some men are desperate, and then especially short, ugly, fat, fucked up men and like these horny simps, especially Hispanic guys are such horny simps. They got to go to a foreign fucking country and get them a mail order bride and bring them back over here. And then as soon as the bitch gets a green card, they just hit the fucking road like Jack. And so then they're gone. And then the guy's sitting there like, what happened? Well, the bitch never loved you in the first fucking place.
Mics up to their mouths. It's because they're in a studio.
Flag being raised for Western women as well. I'm not necessarily saying that.
There you go. What are you seeing? So what are you seeing? And paper cups. They're in a studio.
That they're going to find someone. I'm not saying that they're not going to get screwed over. I'm not even necessarily saying that I would encourage.
They're not just in a studio having a talk. They're following a script.
The same people that finance Charlie Kirk and same people that finance what's the name? Ben Shapiro. Same people finance all these other stupid bitches. Finance this idiot. They finance both philosophies, the so-called liberal and conservative. They can finance both of these motherfuckers. And I say a liberal is a person who liberally wants no gun rights and liberally wants your asshole ravaged. And then a conservative, he pretends to be for morals and shit like that when he's buying trans hookers on the side, but he don't tell you that part. Just like Bill went over Philippines in the 2000s and bought trans boy prostitutes, but he ain't gonna tell you that.
That's what people don't understand.
A quick question. Where are we meeting the men that actually want to date and be in a relationship? Because it's not the dating apps. It's not the coffee shops. I've been trying that. Been trying that for a while now. Definitely not the bars. Not at my age, because they're all like 21, 22. So they definitely don't want to be in a relationship. And I definitely do not want to be a cougar. Nothing wrong with that. Just not my type. I, again, tend to go about 8 to 10 years older than me. I found out even those don't want to date for a relationship.
Where us good men are? At home, working, minding our own fucking business. The reality is, some of us are either in relationships, happily, by the way, or just doing our own thing.
This guy looks like another, whether he's American or he's Jamaican, he looks like another non-white homosexual that is just out here gobbling other men's baby batter. It doesn't give a fuck.
Which a vast majority of us are. We're just doing our own thing. We don't want to date y'all. Some of y'all, if not most of you, annoying.
The reality is that there are men out there by the millions, but she's turning them all down. The ones that she is chasing don't want to settle down with her because
that part would be true. In 2.5 seconds, she's already rejected you. And it happens over and over and over and over because she's got this fantasy in the back of her head that came from her.
Yeah, but her fantasy definitely wasn't a guy like Warren, 5 foot nothing, going bald, can't drive a car, can't hold, doesn't have a, never worked a job, gets a little small crazy check, live at home with his mama until he took his own motherfucking life because he's a pathetic piece of shit. That had the audacity to be a white supremacist, come with these white supremacist ideologies like black people are the dumbest, and then white people in the middle, and then Asians on top. It's the most white supremacist, dumbest shit ever. And even if you put Asians on top, there's still white supremacy because of the fairest skinned non-white people, right?
Television set and her friends, and so on.
Who controls the television set? Rhetorical question.
To what she wants. Okay, and of course, most of the time, her expectations are so high that person don't exist. Matter of fact, if she didn't know she was a girl and she looked in the mirror, she saw a guy who was actually herself, she'd reject her own self in 2.5 seconds. She wouldn't even be good enough for her own self.
But she's aiming too high.
Instead of blaming women for the male loneliness epidemic, why don't men grow up? It's not about your wallet or your looks or your height. I've seen women date broke.
Oh, it's not about your height. I've seen so many women. It's got to be 6 foot plus, blah, blah, blah. Sarah's got to be this, and of course, nothing's 100% across the board. But see, she's saying the opposite of what everybody's seeing happen, and everybody knows.
A white woman lying, that's never happened before. Okay, sarcasm.
Why do we know it? Because it's happened so often by so many women.
Oh yeah, just like the white woman who lied. This is a historical example, but a white woman who lied on an innocent black man in Rosewood and got the whole town burnt down. See, white women lie all the time, and sometimes it causes non-white men their lives.
Nothing's 100%. That don't apply to every single woman. Just like behaviors of men don't apply to every single man. But a good majority because of social engineering.
Goblins. I see it every day. You listen to one podcast, now you think you're high value? You take dating advice from men on the internet with microphones? Gay. Beta behavior. If you want dating advice on how to date a woman, try asking a woman, a real life woman, someone you know in person.
Yeah, of course. Oh, she's lying. You don't have to ask a fish how to fish, how to catch a fish. You know, so that is the most asinine thing. Let's get past this.
And he don't want you to acknowledge there's a male loneliness epidemic. We're going to flip it now onto it's a woman loneliness epidemic. I mean, she has to always be the victim. And you as the man always have to be the perp. So remember, guys, suppress your feelings down. I've told you really well right here to suppress your feelings down. And so did our bald
You
man.
suppress his tongue down for one, you just speak, and then two, he's abusing. I mean, damn. I mean, I believe in the First Amendment, but what an idiot. I mean, here he's trying to say truisms and say some basic shit. He found some stupid bitches on this dumbass Circle of Kings. Okay, what a clown ass name. This guy is not a king anything. He's some probably using AI to make himself make a British voice and talk like this stupid shit. And obviously, Bill can find some low hanging fruit. Stupid female made a comment. Stupid white woman making a lying comment. Whoop de fucking do. That's what they do.
And men need to be heard. He told you that's one of the mistakes.
You're no better than men that need to be heard. You're just another clown that sits around and blows smoke up your own ass and other people's asses. Pretend like you give a shit about men when you don't. You don't give a fuck about me, Calvin, other non-white people in the world. He doesn't even give that fat ass mulatto dude Dwayne, who's out of his fucking mind. He don't give a fuck about nobody. But Warren, he was a great guy to Bill, even though he's a piece of shit in actuality.
The men make. That's right.
He doesn't even deserve 1,000 subscribers.
Right. Because the woman can rant about her feelings to you all she wants, but you better not say your feelings to her, because that's not acceptable. Why? Because you have to suppress your feelings down. See the message they're telling you? You suppress your feelings, that way you don't become emotional about your feelings and don't act out on your feelings. It's okay if the woman does, just not you. You have to be a man. And a man knows to keep his mouth shut and behave as he's told to behave. Social engineering 101 right in your face. With that, I'm out of here.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was just straight bullshit. I mean, he basically found some low hanging fruit, stupid bitches to respond to. Stupid white women of his own damn race and clique. What an idiot. He found low hanging fruit to respond to. Yeah, I've been watching bad Santa videos. What the fuck do? But yeah, he run on the low fucking fruit. Stupid white bitches. Like, who gives a shit? I don't even think about what white women think about. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not Michael B. Jordan. Like that dumbass movie Sinners chasing him out white woman. Give a fuck. Yeah, I mean, what a fucking clown. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. But yeah, what a fucking idiot. When he finds low hanging fruit and respond to these stupid bitches. Who gives a fuck? Anyway, with that, I got a live stream coming up. It will be. It's on the 20. It's Sunday after next. It will be on the 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern, aka 2000, and it'll be with Bart Sabrell, the guy who exposes the moon landing. But he's a white guy exposing the crimes of other white men. But it's good that sometimes you have white men that are whistleblowers, but at the same time, it's their own people committing these fucking crimes. Main thing I don't like about him is that he's a Jesus freak. But hey, I mean, at least he's exposing the crimes of the lying federal government. I mean, if they're lying about something like that is just like something innocuous, like the moon landing. They expose Gulf Tonkin as a lie, all this shit. So white men lie and they get people killed, especially black people. How many black men died in Vietnam? So it's like, yeah. So I'm talking about they're from America too, because back then they didn't even really have as many foreigners as we have now in America. So yeah, man. So it's just bullshit.